tell us your name and your age.
My name is Frank Sanchez. My age is undisclosable.
Okay, so
I'm
you're
67.
60. Alright, so you're about 15 years old when Typhoon Karen hit. And can you tell us what were the major damages that this typhoon did to Guam?
Well, it devastated Guam to the point that at those sustained winds that they had, which was well above 150, 170 mile an hour winds, in those days the structures were primarily tin roof, wooden homes. And when it hit, not only did it catch everyone off guard, the government and everybody else, but we were staying in our homes thinking that it would be safe. But in reality, it wasn't. Many of us had to go through the dangers of flying debris and all to get to shelter, which were the schools at the time, immediate schools in the area, because they were built with concrete. So, not all of them, but most of them. And during that time, and during the eye, our roof was gone. Part of the wall started to cave in. We're very fortunate with God's grace, and I want to reemphasize that with God's grace, that none of us in our immediate family were killed, although there were many fatalities at the time and missing people after the storm. After the typhoon, and we were in safe shelters, and many people were hurt, injured, several died. I think 11 or so died, and missing because they weren't prepared. None of us were. Unfortunately, Guam, with its infrastructure, wooden poles. We didn't have concrete poles like we have now. So many of the lines were downed, and some of them were live wires, and they were cracked in half. Many of the tins were flying through the air like missiles. So what it is that we ended up in barracks, military installations, in ASAM with the Quonset huts and all. And of course the military came in, FEMA came in, Red Cross came in, everybody came in. I think 90% of this island was totaled. Military, they were pretty well off, but they also had Quonset huts, butler buildings that were wiped out, but a lot of their structures were concrete. So, they had pretty stable conditions within the military bases. Because of the devastation and the losses of lives and property damages, the federal government stepped in and said, okay, from now on you build a home, and to be insured and all will be done by concrete slabs. So what happened? They came up with one of the biggest projects in Guam, which is Kaiser, and that's in Dididu. And to this day, those homes are still standing. And they made it affordable to everyone. As time goes on, they started to do their infrastructure differently to withstand winds. Everything changed. Their laws, their infrastructure demand, their requirements and all, because of what happened. And those are the good things, positive things, because you look now, this present day, majority of the buildings are concrete. So nobody worries about anything. And we went through several typhoons since then. And in fact, we had a typhoon, Peng, that's only several years ago. The biggest super typhoon we ever had was 220 to 240 mile an hour winds. Okay? And most of the structures stood up because they're concrete, including my house. Thank goodness. Typhoon Karen was the first one that we encountered. It changed many lives. And then it bettered our lives to prepare for subsequent typhoons which we've been having.